Good morning everybody, and a very warm welcome from Newcastle International Airport. This is Plain Sailing Aviation. I'm Mark, your host for this morning. Hope everybody's okay. Weekend is starting to come into view, so let's have a quick look into the chat. So good morning Ken Alloway, how are you buddy? Political Bias, how are you my friend? Scrolling back, Dopey Gorp, won't be the same without you mate, good to see you. So welcome one and all. So when I set out, I was anticipating a reasonable day's weather, but if I pan the camera around to the tower, I've just got this horrible feeling we've got rain coming, if I can feel it on my forehead. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. As I say, preparation is everything, but I've just realised I haven't bought the hood for the camera, on account that I rather stupidly believed the forecast that precipitation was less than 10% likely. Yes Ken, I'm champion mate, absolutely champion. Similarly Dopey Gorp, yes, full of vim and vigour. So according to my notes, pre-show notes, our first action should be a KLM arrival, a 737 from Amsterdam. Let's just have a quick butchers on flight radar, see if that is a possibility. Yeah, it says it's on time. So one of the features really from, compared with the last show, I was saying that I was trying to get a better connectivity with the chat, tweak the setup a bit, and now I think I've got everything in a decent line of sight. But yeah Ken, oh indeed, we'll just have to see how it goes. Unfortunately, if the rain really does come to us, we'll have to bring the show to a premature close, which I can only apologise if that materialises. The IT setup is pretty compact and protected. It's more the camera. But as I say, one thing at a time. Ken, the interesting thing is, mate, I am as waterproofed as they come. I've got my new coat, the one that I said I wasn't going to bring back, the one that's a bit scratchy sounding, but I've decided I'm going to break it in. It is snug, not to put too fine a point on it. So let's see what we're doing with the old windsock. So I believe it's a northwesterly. To be honest with you, it's picking up a little bit, but I think it would be a stretch to describe it as challenging. I'm just going to go onto the Met Office forecast and see what they've got for us. I hope it's good news. Met Office. So just bear with me, I'm just tinkering. Here we go. Well, interesting. Chance of precipitation less than 5%. We'll just have to see how we roll. Oh, thanks Ken. I thought Logan Air were due a run out. Burns night last night. So what kind of things do you get up to on Burns night? Oh, so the runway lighting is in full vigour. I think I better give the camera a bit of a wipe. Haggis and neeps and tatties and take a wee dram. Just the wee dram or a series of wee drams? Sorry, political bias, the ILS, I'm having a senior moment. So as I was saying, wind is a leisurely 8 mile an hour, 7 knots if you prefer it that way, and some polite gusts at around 18 mile an hour, or 16 knots. Feels about what we have at the minute. Ah, well done, Ken. If you're going to do it properly. As you can see out there, it's pretty gloomy. Let's see where we are on incomers. So let's have a look. Our Southampton flight looks to be the first action of the day. So choosing a Logan airplane for the thumbnail seems to have encouraged Logan Air to open the show for us. If only it was that. So according to flight radar, several minutes out. So it'll be interesting in terms of runway usage. So since I've been here, they've used 07, which is the end that is where you're looking at the minute probably. Rather than where you've previously watched on the show, runway 25, where they're coming from the west. So I've seen westerly arrivals and easterly departures. So let's just see. I think with the north-northwest, I would expect westerly to prevail. But whether they like to move things around a bit, give people a rest from the noise, I don't know. Right, let's just go back to the terminal building while we await our incoming Logan Air. So a fairly static scene. In fact, let's have a quick pan round so you can see what else we have. Looks like a Jet 2 in classic livery, 737. And further round, this arrived when I was setting up, so he's running late already. And that is the British Airways A321, having arrived from Heathrow. He's due out at 9:40. I'm far from convinced. Ken, yes, it probably does, although it's probably not a sea mist. I think it's just more a feature of the landscape here. I've been here a number of times in the last 12 months where I've left home and it's been nice and sunny and it's been swamped in fog here. But conversely, I live quite close to the coast, very foggy at home, and got here and it's perfect. So actually, on reflection, I think that's more of an inland fog. So our Logan Air flight is currently passing over the coast, just passing over South Shields. So he'll just do a little loop over the sea and come in. So what's flight radar saying now? 2 minutes. And I'm pleased to report that that drizzle's abated, which is much appreciated. So hot on the heels of the Logan Air arrival will be our Gulfstream G450, Panavia operated, on its way in from Luton. So a couple of brisk bits of early action for us. See if there's any sign of activity there. Now I'm going to guess today I'm probably not going to get visual until fairly late in proceedings. It's quite a low cloud on the far side of the airfield. So let's get ready. I've got a slight glitch on sound today, which I've decided to run with. Hopefully it won't detract from the viewing experience. It's one of those moments, you know, when you've discovered something's not quite right and you're 5-10 minutes from going on air. For those that are new to the show, that is the metro line that runs directly behind the position I'm filming from. Here we are. So this plane has just completed its 1-hour flight from Southampton. I've completed that route before from Newcastle, although that was Flybe to be fair. But yeah, you're barely on. Still a bit murky over the far side. And there she goes, first plane of the day. So it looks like we're staying with runway 25. Just keeping one eye on the far horizon for our incoming bizjet. Hopefully we'll get to see that one go out during the course of the show. It was a late addition to the movements list, so who knows. So there you are, today's thumbnail. And I'm assuming she's off to gate 1 and therefore we'll lose her from view. So I'm just going to rest us on this. Oh, I can see KLM going out. That was a swift turnaround. That's the beauty of late running flights that don't coincide with the show. No worries, Dopey Gore. If it's only a moment of madness, I always say it's a good day. So, back off to Amsterdam. Which, a bit like the Southampton flight really. Bit of a short jaunt, 50 minutes. Definitely one I intend to try myself when we take the show to Schiphol during the summer months. Just seen your comment about cargo looks, Ken. I think one's just overflown here-ish, out of my visual field, in the classic cargo looks livery according to Flight Radar 24. And let's just move away from KLM, we'll pick them up in a minute, because I feel a business jet on our horizon. I'll not chase it yet, it's be a bit fuzzy. So this is a Panavia operated Gulfstream G450. I had a quick look to see where this has actually been in the last few weeks. It's not been that busy since turn of the year. Inverness, Pisa, where else? Farnborough, here of course. Nicely done. And no one spilt their tea inside. So anybody just joining us, welcome to Plain Sailing Aviation's live stream from Newcastle International Airport. I'm Mark, your host. Fantastic to have you with you. Us with you. Get my words out right. Pretty classy looking, I would say. Of course, you'd expect that with an exec jet. I wonder if this is in any way connected with transfer window business. We're not at deadline day yet, but anybody hears any rumours connecting players that are due to come to Newcastle today for medicals or so forth, do let us know in the chat. Right, I think our KLM is just about to line up. So let's see if I'm right with that. And there she is. And away we go. Our first takeoff of the show. Ooh. You see the business jet winding down. And up we go. Okay, looks like we have some more activity with a Jet 2 737 8MG pushing back. Good morning, Peter E. Nice to see you, mate. Thanks for joining the show. Hope you're keeping well. So, if I am correct, this should be off to Alicante. 2¼ hours or thereabouts, depending on the winds. Lucky folks. Oh, and I can see our British Airways outgoing departure for London Heathrow pinging away merrily. Right, let's have a look into the chat. Check I've not missed anybody. I have to say, folks, I'm much preferring the setup I've got here with the chat. I've got a much better connection eyeline wise with what's happening. So as always, if you like what you see, please do consider hitting that like button. If you're not subscribed to us yet, please consider it. We'd love to have you with us. Even better to have you in the chat. I'm just watching on the far side of the airfield. Those mangy clouds have come back again. It definitely looks low cloud there. Just take us around on a mini tour, not the full tour. So there's a tower, and as I say, far side of the airfield. It's not t-shirt weather there. Anyway, back to the action. So anybody that's not seen the community post that went out last night, looks like we're set for action again back to Newcastle Saturday morning. Be an early start for that one. I think with the way the daylight is, look, we should get an 8 o'clock start out of that. And Edinburgh for the Sunday. So that's the displaced Edinburgh stream that I did want to run this week, in a midweek one. I will take us to Edinburgh midweek. Just a case of making things fit where they fit. Good morning, Tony Else. Welcome to the stream from Leyland, Lancashire. What kind of weather have you got there, my friend? So, anyone just joining, you are watching the Jet 2 outgoing Alicante flight. So we have a couple pinging on the deck here. We have the Jet 2 that you are watching trundling out, and if I bring us to the left is our A321 on the way back to London's Heathrow. Just covering a couple of bits up. Good morning, Billy. Hope I've read that right. All this drizzle on my glasses. Welcome to the show. I'm Mark, your host with Plain Sailing Aviation here at Newcastle International Airport. We'll just canter ahead to the Jet 2, which will be scheduled to go first, being a 9:30 departure, at least on paper. Perimeter patrol and bird patrol vehicle in the background. As you can see, the windsock is looking pretty restrained. and away we go. Alicante, here we come, or more accurately, they come. As we have our British Airways A321 lining up. Ah, Billy, just down the road in Darlow. Bit of blue sky starting to appear, but still overcast. Well, I'm not sure that I've got much cheer to send from this end. A few little patches of blue. Good morning, Paul Usher. Welcome to the stream, mate. Great to have you back. Just giving the laptop a quick dust. Get some of the drizzle off it. And up she goes. Ooh, I can see a Chewy pushing back. Which is excellent news. I had thought the only Chewy departure we had during the show was actually at 11:40. So, not sure what this is, whether it's a positioning flight or someone practicing planes around the airfield. Certainly not pinging. Yes, political. Ken is our man at Prestwick. I think that may well have been a training exercise. So let's concentrate on the plane in the foreground. Yeah, people making ready to get on their hulls. So this plane should be on its way off to Gran Canaria at 10:15. It is slated to go on time, so fingers crossed on that. Looking at further departures, or let's go to arrivals actually. So our Air France incomer is running around 10 minutes late. It is up in the air. Aer Lingus are in at around 10:30. And let's see what else we've got. Back to the chat. Yeah, it does look like we've got a bit of a gap. Which I think something else moving here. What's going on here? I think they are having some ground out ops practice days, shunting planes about. They've got the Aviation Academy quite close to, so I suppose they get the opportunity to hone their skills out on the tarmac. So I think what we'll do, for those of you who are regulars on the show, you will have seen this before, but for anybody that's new, I'll just give you a quick canter around the airport. So just rest the camera there a moment. So, terminal building, radar twirling away. This end, terminals 1, it starts from 1 and goes upwards. I can never remember how many terminals I've got. That's on my to-do list. Not an awful lot in there at the minute. An accumulation of Jet 2s with a Ryanair slightly out of shot. Taking us round, still retaining that north-northwesterly. Fairly gentle. And then we have the tower, all 45 metres of it, opened in September 2007, 8 million quid. Guessing it cost an awful lot more to build now. And there, nearly drove past it, is the fire station. So looks like they're practicing a bit of something. Puffs of smoke. I'm sure it's not somebody vaping at the back of the building. Oh, that's good to note, Dopey Gorp. Emirates early. I can't believe it. I feel well favoured. There's the fuselage they practice putting out fires with. And then as we move our way along, and here's the main runway itself. So westerly arrivals, is single runway here, 2,329 metres in length, with the other side of that hedge the option or potential to extend for another 700 metres, which they've got as part of their expansion plan for 2035 as an option, but would require the road that's the other side of the hedge to be moved. So far from straightforward. Anyway, the end you're looking at there is 025. And then if we work our way around, some warehouses, etc. But then we get down to it. So there's the Newcastle Aviation Academy, where they train cabin crew, aviation operations and aeronautical engineering. Business Jet Park is behind there, as is the Northeast Flight Academy, who were entertaining us during the course of Saturday's show with plenty of touch and goes and circuits. And this is the 06 end of the runway, which when they go from here, there's some fantastic sound to be picked up. Just going back to the academy, and I sort of pinched myself a little bit. I know since COVID, the aviation industry, in common with other sectors, struggling to attract people back into the business. Let too many people go, I guess. But the projections on pilots is surprising. I think I'd read somewhere that there are around 1,000 pilots short across Europe at the minute, and that figure could rise to a lot more. 19,000 I think I saw within 10 years, and similarly in America. I suppose they'll have to work on making it more affordable. I know Chewy had a scholarship scheme out around Christmas which seemed to be popular. They got a lot of interest and closed that one down pretty quick. I'm just checking flight radar, see what's occurring here. So this is a late running plane. Should have gone at 8:45 off to Tenerife. So we've benefited on that one. Don't pick up. I often wonder that now myself. It kind of feels with that Dickie Davis that there's something missing from the show. Perhaps we can alternate that with the police helicopter. I think the last couple of shows is the least I have seen by way of helicopter action. Oh, you're getting the shooting, are you, Ken? I'm not sure whether that's sound travelling from further afield. I think Otterburn, where the military have ranges, probably a bit far. But yes, it does sound more than a farmer out with a shotgun, doesn't it? I can confirm though, I'm not being shot at. So I think the people on that plane will be saying hello to 70-degree temperatures. Lucky old things. We will be taking the show on the road, more on that in due course in February. So we have a couple of overseas broadcast destinations in mind, just to give you a little bit of variety, much as we love it at Newcastle and Edinburgh. As always, I'll put that out through a community post. Sorry folks, I was a little bit urgent on the zoom. Fingers are getting a little bit cold. It's not an especially cold day here, not when you're coated up. But I think that little bit of drizzle has probably stiffened the old digits up. Thanks Ken, good to know. Just looking at political bias, his comment about the firefighters. I think it's a tricky old thing, isn't it? You don't want to be at a real shout, but you do want to have your skills at the absolute optimum. Because when it all breaks loose, it must be goddamn awful. Ken, yes I am. I think I was planning to put those in for today, but I focused on some, I'll tell you what it is. Long story short, the overseas trips, I've been looking at how to fit the show into a small carry-on suitcase. Having recently streamed from Heathrow, I've sort of got a first-hand view of how tricky it is to make it all fit. So I've just got myself a little travel tripod, and I was, if I'm honest, boys' toys and all that, tinkering about with that in the front room last night. So yes, we will definitely enable super chats for the next show. As I say, I just got a little bit distracted with a new toy. So I don't think I've seen whether Billy's responded. Billy, do you spot from Newcastle? Certainly if you do, please say hi. They'll know who I am in a bit, because I will do a little spot in front of the camera, bit of Q&A perhaps. Unless by popular demand you tell me to get back behind the camera. Mick Moffat from New Zealand. Hello my friend, thank you for joining us at Plain Sailing Aviation. I'm Mark, your host. You find yourself at Newcastle International Airport on a overcast, cool, but otherwise unremarkable Thursday morning. What time are you looking at there? I'm guessing you're a fair way in front of us. Now I can hear a helicopter. Oh, it's our police helicopter. Sorry folks, your tardy host has been too busy fiddling around with his new tablet. And here it is, our police helicopter. Hopefully it'll be a training day, so we'll get to see a bit of him. Sorry folks, I can't track him too far that way. It takes the HDMI cable to its limits. Anyway, a little bit of helicopter action. You'll probably be back in 10. (11 p.m) I think I'll be on my second hour of sleep by then. Do tend to need to get my sleep early. I'm impressed with your resilience, Mick. Thanks for the push, Dopey Gorp. Yes, please do like it if you like it, and subscribe. That would be even better. We'd love to have you with us. We're a growing channel, so all the support we can get is really appreciated. As is, of course, your time being here watching. That's what makes it all worthwhile. So I suppose have a quick butchers on flight radar, see what's occurring. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. You'll have to bear with the acoustic muffles because I'm going to take the headphones off because I've found myself a reasonable spot to stand, so I'm just going to unmic myself, pop round and say hello. On second thoughts, I'm just going to belay that for a minute just to see what's happening here. I'm getting ahead of myself, team. Sorry about that. Zane Dad, good morning my friend, welcome back to the show, thanks for joining us. Yes, it is true, looking at Dopey Gorp's comment, Heathrow is well served, or Newcastle is well served in terms of Heathrow connection, 38 a week. So this is our Gran Canaria flight, scheduled for 10:15. So another Boeing 737-8MG operated by Jet2 off to Gran Canaria, which from Newcastle will be about 4.5 hours. Just enough time for a quality nap. So I suppose a quick check on the Air France incomer. I think Dopey Gorp said 10:35. See how we're looking. $10:42. So pretty much half an hour. Thanks to those of you who've participated in the post, the poll on our community posts. Ooh, helicopter coming back. Looks like Air France Hop has the nod over the classic Hop look. I don't know if folks have had a chance to check out the post from Les Donaldson. He pointed out the similarity with the Uralair livery. Managed to get hold of a picture. I think he's right. Others may disagree. And our Jet2 is on the move. Sounds like they're shooting again. Sorry folks, I was craning my neck there to have a quick look in the chat. Failed on all fronts. Lost focus with the camera and still never saw the chat. I'll be back in a bit. Can't imagine this will be hanging around long. Hopefully a turn and go. Which it is. So I think we'll rest up on this Ryanair 73. Sorry folks, I've got a bit of a sniffle. Good morning, Les Donaldson. Quick visit from work. Thanks, mate. Good morning to David Barber. Now Lewis is London plane spotting, my friend. I'm Mark, your host. Pleased to meet you. Lewis is a good egg, but not to be confused with me. So a quick look on flight radar says Air France will be 10:42, Aer Lingus 10:37, and that's on the arrival front. And a quick look with the departs, Aer Lingus at 11 o'clock, which I think last we looked, if going back to what Dopey Gort was saying, that Emirates continues to run on time and is expected at 10 to 11. The star of the show, in for 10 to 11. Right, in which case I am going to say hello to you all, so just bear with me. How this works will be anybody's business. So, here we are. Good morning everybody, I'm Mark. Just checking if someone could let me know in the chat whether you could, sorry about the hot air folks, but has to be done. So, pleased to meet you all. Figured, as we've got a little bit of a gap in play, if people want to ask questions through the chat, happy to answer what I can. But I just wanted to really, put myself in front of camera and say hi. Intend to do that fairly regularly on the shows. Still plan to publish the introduction video over the course of the weekend, but the editor's got his work cut out trying to roll back the years for yours truly, so that's what contributed to the delay. So let's catch up with the chat. So political bias, well thanks mate for being with us this morning. I'm chuffed that you enjoyed the stream and you continue to stay with us. Hopefully see you next time out. Next show will be Saturday morning, kick off from 8, and of course we plan to be on the road Sunday up in Edinburgh. Yeah, looking at your comment, Ken, it's always been that thing that says it's great to introduce yourself, but really a voice behind the camera is not the same as you knowing, who Mark of Plain Sailing Aviation is. So really quite look forward to actually taking a spot. And as we've got a little pause in traffic, one of those moments, isn't it, when I look over my shoulder and see Air Force One coming in to do a touch and go or something, not filming it. Okay, David Barber can't really hear me. Is that any better? I've come this side without the headphones, so I haven't really got a great sense of sound. Just check the microphone is doing what it should be doing. In fact, let me just turn the gain up. Does that work any better on sound? Anyway, if there's any questions folks want to pose to me about the channel, what we're doing next, that kind of thing, just ask away. I think we'll make that a regular feature of the show anyway, just in case there's things that you'd like us to look at or so forth. Yes, I'm sorry the sound's not working right. I did say at the start of the show I'd got a bit of a glitch with the setup, and I can't believe that it's thwarting me now when I'm in front of camera. Hey ho. Well, in which case, Ken, you can hear me, that's good. At least I'm, probably because you're nearer. New Zealand's a long way. Either which way, like every part of the show, we keep working to improve it, try to polish it up in the different ways that we can. And here we go. Today's feature is me in front of the camera. So without much further ado, I'm going to go back the right side of the camera. Delighted to be able to say hi this way, and look forward to doing it again. See you soon. Don't go away though, I'm still here. David, you almost certainly do not need a hearing test. I would have kept my headphones on if I'd had any sense, but I didn't want to stretch the cables too far. Calamity would have followed. Right, let's just get things zoomed onto. Yep, it looks like we've got a team meeting here. You're on TV, folks, give us a wave. I'm guessing these are some of those ground ops trainees learning the ropes. Now what we need is a spot of aviation action. So although we are the UK's 13th busiest airport, that's 2001 figures, clearly within that is the fact you get a lot of gaps in traffic, and we just seem to be in one of those gaps. Although I'm just looking at our incoming Aer Lingus ATR 72-600, which is on its way here from Dublin. He is just heading out towards the North Sea coast. So according to flight radar, 2 minutes. Not actually convinced that will be right, but he won't be long. And we also have a Belfast flight. That'll be the EasyJet A320 on its way in from Belfast. And that in the background is a Metro Line train on its way from the airport on its way into Newcastle. So the Belfast flight, a short hop of 40 minutes. The Aer Lingus, marginally longer at the hour. So stay with us, folks. We will be having some action on your screen very soon. And of course we've got the Air France Embraer 190 on its way in behind that. Good morning to Margaret McKenna. Thank you for joining the stream. I'm Mark, your host, if we've not met before. So great to have you with us this morning. Got a couple of arrivals on their way in, so you will have some action quite soon, rather than just that static shot of the Ryanair 737. In fact, let's zoom around a bit further. So we'll just rest herself on the tower. Les, have a good day, my friend. Look forward to seeing you next time. So the Aer Lingus ATR 72 is just about to turn in. The one thing you can be sure of here is a regular supply of metro trains. So I have visual with the ATR. Don't think I'll put the camera on it just yet, but I'll line us up ready. There we are. Looked a tad bumpy. So what we got there? Echo India Foxtrot Alpha Tango. Hope you're getting the sound okay. I'm troubled by the idea I've got a sound glitch on today. Definitely something to have a look at this evening. seatbelt. Right, let's get on to our next arrival, which will be the EasyJet A320 from Belfast. Nicely done. Sorry folks, I've just been tinkering with the kit again. Favourite plane type? 747 mate. Although I have this hope, optimistic as it is, at some point before I leave this earth to do a round the world trip involving a 74, a 380, a 777. I've not started planning that in any real detail yet, and of course I'm entirely fearful that Lufthansa will probably withdraw the 74 before I ever get around to it. How about you? Dopey Gorp, you and I are on the same page? Got to be the Queen. 7.5, yeah, I like the 7.5. I'll be honest. Yeah, A350. That is a good call as well. So I'll have to find a way of working that into my around the world trip. So Alistair Blackley, welcome mate, hope you're feeling better. Here from the start as well, dedication. Two-tone hair colour. I can't believe the camera's been that blooming merciless. Yeah, it's definitely two-tone, mate. And I think there's, well, let's just say there's less of it. Two-tone, very good. Okay, well I can see our Air France Embraer arrival. So this should be in the original hop livery. Currently attracting around 35%, or last I looked on our poll. And not dissimilar to the Ural Air, or former Ural Air livery. Oh, I'm still smiling about a two-tone hair. Wish to kept my hat on now. There we are. All the way from Charles de Gaulle. It's a little bit far out for us. Gently pop down. Looks like the trucks are on the move for the Emirates 777. A couple of those sort of photobomb the shot. Mal Rowland, good morning mate, welcome to Newcastle International Airport. Oh, you're very kind mate on the commentary. Oh, so kind I've lost focus on the plane. Thanks mate, much appreciated. Quite new to this, so there's all kinds of lumps and bumps in the road. Today the sound quality isn't quite what I have been used to in recent streams, but I suppose that's the nature of the game. There's always something that you need to tweak or improve. But thanks mate, that's very kind. Great to have you here. Back here on Saturday if you have any availability. 8 o'clock start. And on the Sunday we're taking the show over the border into Scotland to Edinburgh International. That will be an early start as well. So I will just place the camera on our Aer Lingus for a minute. Quick look in the chat. Ken, I take my hat off to you. Well, I would take my hat off, but then we'd be back to the two-tone hair again, won't we? Do you know, I just realised I've not actually put the hat back on. I sort of tossed it to one side, cavalier style. And as you'll have seen, I'm a bit short of insulation. Ray B, thank you very much. Very kind. Great to have you with us. No, Ken, that one is in around 35% of the pole, 65 being with the Air France hop. So we'll close that poll on Sunday, so there is still time, folks, to influence that result. But at the minute, the newer traditional Air France design is out front. Just looking at Mal Rowland's comment, coffee or tea right now would be spot on. I hope everybody in the chat has got a brew on or close to hand. Alistair, the hat doesn't help it grow. Blow me down, they've sold it to me under false pretenses. And I can see our next arrival. So let's just refresh the screen. So we'll just leave her there for the minute as a UFO. This should be our Emirates 777, I figure. And so it is. I had a quick look to see where this one had been over the last week. Here and there it seems. Istanbul, Tel Aviv, Barcelona, Luanda, Karachi, and I never say this right, Phuket? Put me right in the chat. Thailand. It's a bit murkier on the far side of the airfield, so I can't get in too close too early. At least that pesky rain stayed away. Sorry Ken, no, it's not just you. Seem to have a bit of the old technical gremlin kicked in. Yeah, it's me, people. I hope you've still got me. Alistair Blackley, it's always time for teammate. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I thought the connection had been too good to be true. Oh, I can just see, sorry folks, me getting excitable. I think we've got some World of Sport action. And so we have. Our friend Dickie Davis. There we go, a bit of bonus footage while we take stock of our situation. So the Emirates triple is inching itself up to the gate. Just looking at the chat, brilliant, I've got you all back folks. I thought I'm filming Dickie Davis and I could be talking to myself. So excellent. No banner, no, we're working on that, Ken. So as always, if you've liked what you see, please do hit that like button. And if you are new and like it, but not yet subscribed, we'd love to have you with us. We're a growing channel, early days. Mainly featuring Newcastle and Edinburgh, but we are taking the show on the road. Can't believe it, I've been caught out by another Dickie Davis. Unbelievable. Nice gentle turn. Wonder if he's just doing circuits. We're off somewhere. Anyway, let's go back to our triple. Quick time check, see what's happening in the chat. British Airways due at 10:10, has only just started pinging at Heathrow. 1 hour plus delay so far. Yeah, that looks like that will elude us then. Things clearly not going swimmingly at Heathrow. So the question is, what is next in? Yeah, so the British Airways plane is described on flight radar as 11:39. So let's see how that works. So let's see what else we've got. To be honest, from an arrival perspective, that's it till 1 o'clock. Would have closed obviously by then. See what we've got on the departures front. So Air France would be due to go 11:30, EasyJet at 11:20, Chewy due at 10 to 12. Sorry I'll not catch that, folks. I'll try and pull in the British Airways arrival, but obviously I'm still doing hospital runs and so forth in the afternoon, conveying mother-in-law to see her husband. So I'll have to be on my blocks quite sharply. Otherwise, Mrs. Plain Sailing will give me the frowning of a lifetime. I've got a feeling our friend in the light aircraft, certainly the second of the two, might be doing circuits. So we'll have a spot of Dickie Davis action if he makes good on that. Ah, the Aer Lingus ATR 72 is pinging by the look of it. Guessing Dopey Gore has called that in the chat. Thanks, Dopey Gore. US Navy C-130 Hercules, right over Ken's house, directly from PIK. Fab. You really do get to see some good things there, Ken. You can probably hear the ATR 72 revving up. Let's just find him. Yeah, he's already pushed back. So let's take a position we can pick him up cleanly from. And we're on the move. Looking at around 1 hour's flight back to Dublin. Thank you, Margaret McKenna. Yes, do hope to see you next time. Hope you've liked what you see. I love the sound of these ATR 72s, but at distance it's almost the reassuring sound of a lawnmower on a hot summer's day. Of course, close up and personal, they sound quite different. So if you've just joined us, Plain Sailing Aviation, I'm Mark, your host at Newcastle International Airport. Thanks for joining us. The pesky bushes in front are interfering with the focus. It's better. So we're just coming towards the back end of the show. Next action will be Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. Back here at Newcastle, so we'll catch the action pretty much from the start of daylight, and then we're off to Scotland the following day to Edinburgh International Airport for a morning live stream from there. Hope you'll be able to join us for one or both. As I think I was saying earlier on in the stream, we've also got plans afoot for a couple of overseas type trips in February, so more details on that in due course through the community posts. If you're not already subscribed, please do give it some thought. We'd love to have you with us. Looks like he's got the nod. Okay, back to the terminal. I can see another one of the Dickie Davis flying display team taxiing out. and I'm sure Dopey Gorp has called it in the chat, the EasyJet A320 is pinging away merrily to my left. So we'll pick this action up and then go to the EasyJet. And said EasyJet is now pushing back. And away we go. Right, back to ground operations. Here we go, our Belfast bound EasyJet. Short 40-minute flight or thereabouts. It's a good question you pose, Mal Rowland. I really don't know. Anybody in the chat who has an informed answer for Mal, in fact, and me, that would be great. But you're right, there are different varieties. And the science behind would be quite interesting. Ken, you are spoilt for choice. Ah, thanks, Dopey Gorp. So the wingtip device is all about reducing drag. To be fair, aircraft look quite, or certainly commercial aircraft, look quite odd without them, don't they? I know when they first started popping them on, I wasn't particularly attracted. Perhaps a little bit set in my ways. But of course, that all-important fuel efficiency. Yeah, we should get some 767 action at Edinburgh, so we'll have a look at the wingtips there. Looks like the fire brigade are running a drill, as you will just see. Let's just pan it out a bit, give you the scale and scope. Look at that. You wouldn't fancy living downwind of that. Ah, a few flames. Let's have a closer look, see if we can pick anything else up. Well, last 20 minutes of the show. I think this will be our last departure, and depending on the time our incoming British Airways flight makes, that will be our last arrival. So do stay with us as we wrap the thing up. Yep, no hanging around. Just catching up with the chat. Mal Rowland, hope I've not missed you, mate, but if I have, accept my apologies. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for your good wishes. Read the father-in-law. Things are looking good, mate, so it's just about, you know, time really. So thanks, pal. Just looking into the chat. Ken Dopey, yeah, I'm also a 767 fan, but as you say, they aren't getting any younger. So, what is happening with our incoming British Airways flight? This be the question. So, apologies if Dopey Gorp has already called it. Still looks to be on track for 20 to 11 at 12. What's up with me and my timekeeping? So that will be the plane we will finish on. Although it's actually, I'm just looking at this. It now says 11:47. Just passing Harrogate. I have an inner confidence that it will be here by 20 to 11. So let's stick with it, see how it goes. Just gone over Leeds, 23 minutes away. Yeah, it's going to be nip and tuck. Do you know what? I think I'm going to make a decision which I hope everybody will be happy enough with. I can't really be here at 11:50 more than my life's worth, and therefore I think what we'll do, we'll let it run till 11:30. If the forecast is still around that 11:50, we'll bring the show to an early close. So sorry about that, folks. But oh, hang on, I can see some more action. But yeah, I do need to get away sharpish today. What we got? Ken, I guarantee you I shall be up there for some fair weather spotting in the summer. Just not hardy enough for this time of year. Well, I thought we had a light aircraft coming out, which I'm sure that's the intention, rather than just shuffling them around. Just lock the camera there for the minute. Thanks everybody, that is warmly appreciated as a sentiment. it always feels a bit sort of, you know, you want to honour your commitments in every which way, don't you? But knowing the journey between here and home, it's not far away, but if you are relying on being exactly on time, hey ho. Looks like they are going nowhere fast. Well, what do you know? We have the Air France departure, which will fit within the time envelope. Thanks, Dopey Corp. So let's do Air France and do a time check on the BA, but otherwise we'll finish after the Air France. It's back to that one more plane thing again, isn't it? So for anybody that's only just joined us, we're just in the last phase of the stream. So thanks for joining us. We have an Air France Embraer 190 long range on his way out back to Paris Charles de Gaulle. Trust me, it's happening. There it is. Little tip of a tail fin. So this is the back end of our live stream. Next action will be Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, back at Newcastle. Breakfast show, if you will. So make sure you've got your refreshments to hand. And then Sunday, we're off to Scotland for, again, some early morning action, or full morning action really, from Edinburgh International Airport. With United and Delta on the list of movements, we'll have some heavy action. And of course we get the Qatar Airways, they have a scheduled arrival, which sometimes is an A350 and sometimes is a Dreamliner. Bit of smoke there on the edge of the airfield. Yes, I think the breakfast fry-up show, Ken, is the way to go. Alistair, I think Ken said he got his bacon super crispy last weekend. Got to be honest, all that talk about breakfast, I'm ready for lunch. I'm guessing you all are. And away we go. Well, as you say, au revoir to that. Let's take a final sense of where BA are at. 5 minutes out. Dopey-Gort, we're going to have to go with that, aren't we? Let's see. Yes, just approaching Jarrow. So estimated 11:38, which I reckon's about right from where it's at the minute. Square sliced sausage on a roll with HP sauce. Alistair, I don't think I've had a square sliced sausage in my life, but sausage and HP sauce just go together. I don't know what people think, but for me, bacon, I quite like a dab of tomato sauce with bacon. But wouldn't put brown sauce with bacon. Converse to that, I couldn't put tomato sauce with sausage. So 3,000 feet was the last update from Dopey-Gort. Let's have a look. Now down to 2,525. So just turning over Whitley Bay. I've got to disagree, Alistair. A little dab of tomato sauce on bacon. Oh man. Square sausage. I'm going to have to look into that. See, you learn something new every day. I think what we can agree on is HP brown is the appropriate accompaniment for a sausage, square or cylindrical. As for what goes with bacon, clearly that's still up for grabs. So my eyes are on the horizon. Those rain clouds look like they've come back, and I can see her. Not worth training the camera yet. Good stuff. Yes, Ken, I think I'm going to have to do that. All this international travel I'll be doing at the weekend, coming over the border into Scotland. Where's good for square sausage? While you're musing that question, Dickie Davis is back out. Local butchers in Edinburgh try square sausages in a Scotch pie. Sounds like I'm going to have to do it. This guy's going to need to get a wriggle on. Tally ho! Okay, back to British Airways. And here she is, folks. The final plane of the show. Late but welcome nevertheless. She catches the sunlight well. off to gate 1. Or actually more likely gate 3, what we're talking about. Right folks, I'm going to have to bring everything to a stop. So Ken, Dopigor, Alistair, everybody that's been in the chat, absolutely fantastic, brilliant support. Hope to see you out at the weekend and have a good day. See you soon. Bye now.